Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here, the Wanderlust CEO. I have my good friend Mary Katherine from MK's Magical Adventures. Mary Katherine, how are you today?
I'm doing just wonderful. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm queuing up the confetti because you just graduated. Cruise on vacation. We're having a party today. How does it feel?
It's so great. The program is just really incredible and really helped me kind of know what next steps to take. I think as a new business owner, I had no clue where to start. There's so many different things. And if you just Google like how to start a business, you'll get 8 million different suggestions. And then I just didn't know where to start. And just having someone who could like really help guide me through the process was so key to my success and just like helping me figure out what I needed to do next and like talking to me when I didn't know like where to go or what was overwhelming was just so helpful. And my coach Jamie was just the absolute best.
Oh, she is the best. And you're right. It's like, and it's two parts too, right? It's like how to start a business, but then also how to be a travel agent. So tell everybody, like, where were you before doing Cruise on Vacation? Had you ever worked in the industry or were you starting from scratch?
So I hadn't worked in the industry. I So this past summer, I actually developed a seizure disorder, which really has ended up being a blessing because I needed to figure out something that I could do where I didn't have to drive. And I'd been talking about how much I wanted to start an agency and wanted to do this. And it just didn't look like it was in the cards for the longest time. And then I started having seizures, and it was like, well, you can't drive to work anymore. So, what can you do from home to still bring in income? But what can you also do to support yours and your husband's dreams of travel? And this, like, just opened so many
It was
doors.
like,
But when I
oh,
started,
I can work from home and I get to do travel, which I
right,
love.
right.
Yeah.
It was just an absolute godsend. And I know travel has been something that has just healed my heart. And one of the reasons I was having seizures was because I was stressed. It's a stress related disorder. And so just seeing all those pieces come together, just just like the Lord was looking down on me and just was
Oh.
like, here you go. Like, this is what you need. And so, before Careers on Vacation, I decided I wanted to open an agency, but I opened it. And I think I had the expectation that almost every business owner does, that the moment you open your doors and like say you're doing it, you're just going to get like the door, like everyone you know is going to suddenly want to book a Disney trip in the next like 2 months, and you're gonna have all these calls and everything is gonna fall perfectly into place. And I realized I needed some marketing help. um I That was for me, like I didn't know what I was doing. And so I opened an Instagram account, I set up a business Facebook page, but then I was like, okay, so what now?
Next, what's
um
next?
right, right. So like, okay, I've got these pages, but like I only have 200 pictures from Disney and I don't know how to caption all of them, or like, how do I make this work? So just the marketing piece, I think, was a big thing of me figuring out how to get going, and has really helped me develop a marketing plan that actually works and makes sense.
Yeah, because
Um,
being a user of social media is not the same as how you leverage and create a strategy for a business on how you market on social media. And I think that's the same like misconception that a lot of new business owners, I'll just throw a page up, but it's like that's just a foundational like architecture piece. It has nothing to do with the actual marketing or strategy or all those kind of marketing channels that we teach you in the program in terms of setting them up. That's the magic behind, like, on the Wizard of Oz, the behind the curtain, like, well, how does all of this actually work, right? And it makes a huge difference when you know how to use them in the right way. What do you feel like have been your biggest wins or celebrations since taking the program?
um, this might sound kind of silly, but I think I've definitely encountered some naysayers. And knowing how to set internal and external boundaries to be able to continue believing in my hopes and dreams for what will happen, as opposed to giving up because they say that this isn't going to work. I think knowing knowing what I believe in and knowing what I think is worth investing in and knowing how to say like, okay, I can still love that person and at the same time
Do your
travel
own thing.
advisors still are like they are still relevant. It's still something that people need because I think a lot of what I've gotten is like, well, now everybody can book it online themselves, so why would they and knowing having the tools and resources to be able to answer those questions. But then on the flip side of that, when one of those comments does really get to me because I am a person, having a place where I can go like the COV Facebook group to say like, "Hey, I'm having a rough day and somebody made a comment that really hurt my feelings." And having people like Brandon and Zoa and like other agents who are in this with me
Mhm.
sit there and say like, "Yep, I've encountered those people too," and we can all move forward and still love those people and also at the same time we can still believe in our dreams. Like they are not mutually exclusive and we can do
Yeah.
both and do both well.
Mhm.
Um I think is one of my biggest wins. I mean, numbers are a whole lot of it. Numbers are great, but I think knowing myself as a person is even more important than knowing those numbers a lot of
Well,
times.
and being in community with so many other hundreds of our students who are using the same systems that they're like, yeah, here's what we're doing. Yeah. So being able to plug in and also see people who are 6 months ahead of you, a year ahead of you, 5 years ahead of you, and what
Right.
their journey looked like and how they mapped it out. And they go, when the naysayers say XYZ, you're like, yeah, but what about all of these people? And if they did it, I can do it too. That is like that extra piece of going into the grad group, I think, and having that instead of you being alone at home or in a silo or not having that toolbox of kind of those mindset things that we train you in the program, it could feel very isolating if you are trying to do it on your own, right? But having that support system, I love that you brought that up. That's not one that comes up that often, but it is so important. And also leads me to my next question, which is, we do a lot of mindset work through the program to start helping you think like a business owner, and approach things from a strategic versus an emotional kind of mindset, right? Or if emotions do bubble up, how do we deal with them in a productive way? How did the mindset work impact you in your life or business as you went through the program?
Well, I mean, it's definitely impacted me personally and professionally. Like I said earlier, I got diagnosed right before I started the program with a stress related seizure disorder, which means that you can't drive for a certain amount of time. In our state, it's 6 months. But just 3 weeks ago, I was able to start driving again. And a lot of that is because I've really worked on managing the stress and really figuring out what I need to do to do things the way that they're not going to stress me out or overwhelm me
Yeah,
to the point that
trigger that
I
stress,
yeah,
right?
exactly. And so um, I think not only that, but like I naturally have a tendency to be an anxious person and like worry that I'm not going to get enough done or worry that like the income's not going to be there that I need. And so I think the program has really like just reminded me that um in those moments it's really important to flesh out like why I'm feeling that way and then move forward instead of just being like don't feel that way, don't do
Yeah,
that.
don't bury it, because if you bury it, it's
Right.
going to come back. It's going to present in your body in a different way.
And so and that's really what happened. And so learning how to actually address what I was, what was under the surface and then do something about that and take action has been so helpful, not just in my business, but also just for me as a human. I mean, driving makes a really big impact on your life. You don't realize what it changes till you can't
It's
do
like
it.
your
And
free
so
it's like your freedom, right?
right,
Your
right. So
independence.
just like being able to go to the grocery store, like it gives me a whole new sense of gratitude, but now I feel like I'm kind of steeped in gratitude instead of coming at it when people tell me I need to be thankful. And that's just a really big difference.
totally different swap in mindset. I love that it's impacting your health in such a positive way. And a lot of people don't realize it's like everyone internalizes stress differently, right? But sometimes we have students who are in like corporate jobs that are just like they make a lot of money, but they're killing their spirit, and they're like, Cyndi, how do I make this transition and make this jump? And I'm like, how can you not? Like, you only get one life. Like, let's do this. Lean into your purpose. And if you don't, that's when other things start popping up. So I love that you're bringing this story just to the forefront because it is powerful on so many different levels. And if you guys have watched my videos for a long time, I'll talk about the fact that my husband and I owned another business, and I hated it. It was we made so much money. It was like every day I was like, oh, I hate waking up, and I didn't like my life. And meanwhile, I was treating my travel business like it was a hobby. And I said, you know what? We decided we're gonna sell this thing, and I'm gonna put all effort on my travel business. And look what happened, right? Like, retired my husband into where we work full time, and we're both doing this and running our travel brands, teaching you guys, have our agency too. And it's like stress is like, it just comes off. Like, even my kids are like, Mom, when you made that change, like, what a difference in like how you show up in the lives of your family, and just your own happiness. It's like everything. That's like the center of why we're here, is to kind of understand that. But I love that. I want to ask you, so you've been on the inside of Careers on Vacation. A lot of people watching these videos, if you're on your first video, kudos. If you're on your 230th video, which I think is what we're filming today, kudos to you too. But what people that are watching these videos really want to know is like, what is it really like to be inside Careers on Vacation? Is this for me if I'm trying to become a travel agent or have a successful business? Share, Mary Catherine, what your experience was, or maybe something you didn't know, and after you've been behind the curtain now, you know exactly what it's like to be on the inside of the cool kids club. Share with everybody what that's like and what they can expect if they sign up with Careers on Vacation.
So I think one like other big piece, and I know we've kind of hit on themes of community and mindset, but I think I had this misconception that I would start a work from home job and I would have no social life. I mean, at the time I couldn't drive, and so that took a piece of it, and then working from home took a piece of it. And so I think, like, one of the keys to resilience that people talk about is having a social support system.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the big things that people need to know about COV is you have a support system, not just for the duration of the program, but for the entirety of the time afterwards. I mean, I regularly talk to 2 or 3 people that I went through the program with. Our niches are, we all love Disney, but we're all serving different clients, and just having a job that's not a competitive. I
Mm,
mean, not feeling like you have to compete against everyone who's doing the same thing. And I
yes,
think COV breeds a sense of camaraderie, and that's something that we all need. So
absolutely.
if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling discouraged, one of the best things you can get yourself is some social support.
Mm-hmm.
That may come in the form of your coach. I guarantee your coach is going to become one of your favorite humans. It may come in the form of one of Brandon's videos, but regardless of what it is, you're going to find a piece of support that you may not have known you needed in this program. Um, I know people can be concerned about the investment, but it is an investment. It's an investment not just in your business, but also in your own personal health and your story as well, because you'll gain friends and colleagues and people you can ask questions to and bounce ideas off of, and people that'll help you, grow as a person. Um, and that's something we all need no matter what stage of life we're in. So I would
Absolutely.
say just just do it. um Figure out a way to make it happen for yourself, and you definitely won't regret it.
Well, and think about learning anything new. And what I think a lot of new agents don't realize is our industry is way more complicated than it appears. Everyone gets really excited about, yes, I want to travel for free and do this sexy, exciting, exhilarating thing, right? And everyone gets really pumped up on that. But when it gets down to the nuts and bolts of things, it is work. You have to have your structures set up properly. You have to have the right training, the right, the right tools, resources, all of that. And all of the tools and resources can be different dependent on your setup, right? You know this because you're in the program, and one person will say, but I'm set up this way, but I'm set up that way. And so it's not a cookie cutter, you just do this, because based on your niches, based on your vision, based on a whole bunch of variables, everybody's thing is going to be a little bit unique. But having that whole team while you're in that setup period, and then yes, our grad community is amazing. And we really, because everyone has a fundamental core belief that there's enough abundance for all of us. We're working with a trillion with a T dollar industry. It's like there's enough business to go around for everyone, for sure. But guys, go over and check out careersonvacation.com. This is an inside peek at Wanderlust Campus. This is our online training program, also where you'll get to all of your live classes that you get to go to. As Mary Katherine mentioned, we have real people that work in our program. There's her coach, Jamie, just flew by on the screen. We have an amazing group of coaches, mentors, and experts that help you in that setup first 12-week active period. And Wanderlust Campus never goes away. We just launched Wanderlust Campus recently, and that will be a part that as we update the program, our grads, like Mary Katherine, all of our grads will get those updates as we add resources. And as Mary Katherine and all of our grads can attest to, stuff changes a lot. Meta, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and when those things change, that's one of the things that we update. As long as I run the program, we'll keep updating those things. But Mary Katherine, last question. Would you recommend Careers on Vacation for someone who is in your same situation? But why would you recommend us?
I would hands down recommend you. And I think it's because, I mean, there's so many different reasons. I think it gives you tangible tools and resources, um, things like marketing plans, and use this customer management system. But it also gives you the most valuable resource you can ask for in life, and that's people, and that's social support, and knowing what to do uh, to get yourself to that next level, and figuring out how to do that, and knowing that you have people that have got your back is just key. um,
Yeah,
so yeah.
there's a lot of programs out in the world where people will be like, I created this and I'm going to sell them all, but it just ends up collecting dust on your hard drive, guys. Like when you have people in a community, people to help you, but then also that community to keep encouraging you to move forward wherever you are. And I look back to 2020 when everything was shut down, and our community just rallied around each other like, this is some crazy stuff we're going through with the world being shut down, but what can we do that's positive? And the things and how we showed up in our grads' lives in that way, and we're like, okay, here's what we're going to do to get our marketing ready. Here's what we always stayed in action with that group. And I look now at that community that during that inactive period, kind of how we showed up and kept each other like, we're not going to quit, like travel's going to reopen, here's our plan. I look at those agencies now, and so many are in our $1 Million Club and our multi-million dollar club. You're going to be there in the future, Mary Katherine, I just know. But that's the difference between having that like home base for everything that you do going forward. So I'm so excited to see where MK's magical adventures goes in the future. Thank you for sharing your amazing story today with everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. All right, guys, we will be back next week with another amazing results story for you to show you how we are changing lives all over the travel industry. Until then, see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here. If you like that last video, make sure you check out all of the other content on our channel. And if you want to follow along and travel with me around the world and see how I run my amazing travel brands and get some great tips on how to grow your own, make sure you check out that other content. I'm going to drop a couple videos here. Click those links. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.